Welcome. Welcome. It's been a while. It's been a while, and I've missed you guys. I've missed you guys, but it's good to be back. It's good to start this week. It's good to start this week off streaming as we get closer to Christmas and the time of Advent, and then just share this time with y'all. My name is Stuart Davis, flawed man of God, a humble parishioner at a small church just outside of Richmond, Virginia. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a biblical scholar. I haven't been to seminary. I'm not trying to get you to join my church or donate to any special cause. What I'm here to do is talk about God, talk about Jesus, talk about the Holy Spirit, talk about the Bible, talk about Christianity, talk about a wide variety of different topics, issues, and current events, and give you my perspective on them. One that I think is reflective of your average Christian guy. Again, a Christian all my life, 41 years, non denominational Protestant. I don't subscribe to any particular doctrine or denomination. I'm just in the word daily, trying to do it better each and every day. Sometimes I'll get it right. Often I'll get it wrong. But no matter what, if you're tuning into this show, if you're listening to my voice, you can count on getting my honest takes on whatever it is that we're discussing. So, if you are somebody who is new to Christianity or somebody at the threshold of it, trying to make that decision, and there's some trepidation, I understand. Don't feel like that's abnormal. Don't feel like that is something that is wrong. There's something wrong with you. You're not the only person who has that. That's a big step. Now, some people can jump in, just jump right into it. But I have to feel some sort of understanding that going from someone who hasn't had their faith in much, if anything, or has had their faith in something else and been uh, turned away from it, that this is a big move of trust. And so, if you're reluctant or worried, scared, understandable. And if I can offer you any encouragement, if that's what you want, right? If that's what you're looking for, that nudge in the right direction to keep up what you're doing, then we can get that out of the way here right now. Please, if you are looking to follow Christ, if you want to diligently, earnestly, and obediently follow him, keep doing it. You're on the right path. You're on the right path. And I want to encourage you, and I know the chat wants to encourage you, and I know that the rest of all of Christianity should be encouraging you, because we want everybody to feel like that they have a path to God, or I should say the path to God. They have the opportunity. We want them to understand it is open. The way is narrow, but it is open. It's not closed. You got to take it. And I hope you do. I hope you do. I want you to. If you are already a Christian and you just enjoy Christian topics and discussions, welcome as well. We run this very similar to a Wednesday night study group or a Sunday school. It's all about small group, and that's what we are. It's not a big crew. In fact, chat's awfully quiet tonight. It's Monday night. And I haven't streamed in about a week. So, understandably so, it's been kind of quiet. But for the most part, we have a intimate number of people who tune in and populate the chat. Again, we run it very much like that small group that I was talking about, and that's how that's kind of how the show goes. But no matter what, if you're new to Christianity, If you're on that threshold, like I was talking about, or if you've been in the faith longer than me, more mature about it than I am, not hard, and more knowledgeable, um, or somewhere in between, get in the chat. Love to hear from you. Love you to join this motley crew of Christians that that we have on this channel, and be a part of it. And it's very easy, very easy. You just gotta put your 2 cents worth in. Where do you agree with or disagree with? Where do you think I'm right? Where do you think I'm wrong? What unique perspective, experience, or insight do you bring to the conversation that maybe we haven't considered yet? Maybe you want to just add on to something somebody else said. Share your opinion. Ask questions. I might not have the answer to them, but we can talk about the question nonetheless. And maybe one of these folks in the chat can point you in the right direction. And as soon as I say something, I get two of the biggest regulars we got here. Matt Felty's in the chat. Checked earlier and wasn't scheduled. That's fine. I turned it on. I scheduled it around 8:05. Vertex said, apparently everyone is a Thomas today. Are they? Or what are we running into? All I've been running into is my Instagram algorithm is smellier than normal. Got a lot of atheists in there. I don't know if this is the time of the year where the atheists get mad and seethe because this is a time for a lot of Christian cheer. Obviously, this is a time where Christ is in the words on on so much because of the holiday Christmas, right? I don't like seeing it. I don't know, but they've been ramping everything up. It seems, or I'm just stuck in a really, really garbage algorithm, and I need to get out of it. But been seeing a lot of it. Been seeing a lot of it lately. And again, you guys have all heard the arguments. It's the same 5 arguments warmed over, rewritten or not rewritten, and that's the whole thing that they cling to, which is sad, right? At least be original. So Vertex said, I have this correlation does not equal causation. Similarities of few things doesn't mean agreement on everything. In what context am I missing this, Vertex? Like I get what you're saying, but I just don't know. So absence. I brought this on myself, Matt. Matt, if you remember, because you were trying to get me to read, I think 22 and 23, and I said, "Nah, we'll read it tomorrow. I'm gonna be on tomorrow. We're in a good mood. We're putting together a streak. So prayers would be appreciated. But for the most part, it's over with. My mother-in-law had a medical event. We'll call it that. That involved going to the hospital on Wednesday. She was there overnight, and she came home the next evening, and she's doing okay. We're managing medicines and stuff like that to get all that taken care of. So, and it'll take a couple of weeks for everything to kind of firm up on that. And she's taking it easy, but that's a big deal. Obviously, wasn't going to be able to stream Wednesday. I was going to the hospital myself, ferrying people back and forth. My father-in-law, my wife, just to make sure that she wasn't alone for the most part. But she's doing well. It was a little bit scary there for a minute, but things are looking very good now, and that's good. That's good. So, look, 80-something years old. Medical events are generally start off scary, and sometimes they get better, and sometimes they do not. It's unfortunate when they do not. But praise God that this turned around well, and we're happy to have her back. But again, she is taking it easy. Wednesday coming back, again, obviously, getting her home, getting her settled, getting the kids, to spending time with her and everything. That obviously took precedence over Thursday's stream, and then yeah, so it's been difficult because it changes kind of the dynamic of things around the house. She watches the kid. She watches my youngest during the day, obviously because she's not in daycare, she's not in school. She watches her when the kids come home, and I'm still working. Is she watches them for the most part, and that's say that kind of takes her out of the equation a bit. So, it's just it's these are disruptions you have to uh, or interruptions, as Veritex is calling it. These disruptions that will happen, and you got to adjust to it. But there is an adjustment period to it, and again, hopefully, she'll be back. She does say that the kids keep her young, keep her more active, keep her on her feet, keep her mind, running, as opposed to sitting around by herself all day, or with my father-in-law all day, and not getting the same type of stimulation. It's good, and I was telling my son this the other day. This is good. You're getting time with your grandparents that I didn't get. I had by the time I was his age, I only had one living grandparent, and I never knew two of them, just because they died long before I was born, and that was unfortunate. But um, you appreciate what you have. Appreciate what you have. Appreciate the memories that you make, and and the experiences that you get to share together. This is very important. It's very important because those are memories you look back on. And when he's my age, you know, she'll more than likely be gone. Um, but hopefully, the memories they make of all the time they spend together won't be, and that will be good. And that will be good. So anyway, so that's what is today? Today Tuesday? Today's Tuesday, isn't it? It is. All right. So, and yeah, yesterday was part of that because of all that's how crazy this has been. Plus, work for me. This is a time of the season uh, with what I do where there is a lot of moving parts, and that's probably why my brain is fried right now, and I don't know what day it is. But yesterday it was very chaotic with kids going back to school, and covering for them, covering for um, and taking care of my mother-in-law, that I just wasn't able to get to streaming. So me and my wife at probably around 9:30 finally got to catch our breath and sit down, and we watched a couple episodes of Reacher, which is a pretty good show. I got to say, I'm very impressed. Very good show. All right, let's see, where are we at now? We are gonna finish up. Hang on one second. Hang on one second. I gotta take care of something real quick. Sorry for the dead air. All right. All right. And yeah, Veritex said December is the month of interruptions. Some planned, some unexpected. It happens. It happens. But the good news is you got family together. Family is still together. So that's good. We finished off, I think we dropped off with Psalm 21, Psalm, Proverb 21 on Tuesday, which was a week ago. No. Matt, help me out here. Did I end at 20 or did I end at 23? I think you're right. I think you're right, sir. All right. Well, we'll start there just to be sure. Like I said, we don't want to leave any verses out. We want this to be the complete Bible. Catholics, thieve. No, just kidding, Catholics. We'll get to the Apocrypha or the Deuterocanon or whatever you want to call it after we're done with the Bible proper. All right. So, what were we going to say? 21. My son, fear the Lord and the King, and do not associate with those who are given to change of allegiance and are revolutionary. For their tragedy will rise suddenly, and who knows the punishment that both the Lord and the King will bring on the rebellious. These also are sayings of the wise, to show partiality and good in judgment is not good. Let me rephrase. Let me go back to that. These also are sayings of the wise, to show partiality and judgment is not good. He who says to the wicked, you are righteous, people will curse him, nations will denounce him. But to those honorable judges who rebuke the wicked, it will go well with them, and they will find delight, and a good blessing will come upon them. He kisses the lips and wins the hearts of people, who gives a right and straightforward answer. Prepare your work outside and get it ready for yourself in the field. Afterward, build your house and establish a home. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, and do not deceive with your lips. Speak neither lies nor half truths. Do not say, I will do to him as he has done to me. I will pay the man back for his deed. I went by the field of the lazy man, and by the vineyard of the man lacking understanding and common sense. And behold, it was overgrown with thorns, and nettles were covering its surface, and its stone wall was broken down. When I saw, I considered it well. I looked and received instruction. Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest and daydream. Then your poverty will come as a robber, and your want like an armed man. What did you want pause for, Matt? Sorry if I ran over that. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. Obviously, we're going to go back. All right, so let's go back and roll through it. All right. 21. My son, fear the Lord and the King, and do not associate with those who are given to change of allegiance and are revolutionary. Uh-oh. All right. For their tragedy will rise suddenly, and who knows the punishment that both the Lord and the King will bring on the rebellious. This is a difficult one. As an American, right? How did our nation come about? Don't we honor the founding fathers? They were revolutionary. I don't know if they so much changed allegiance, however. And maybe that's the difference. Is there a difference? Did they do the right thing or the wrong thing? You feel like the answer is yes, but reading this, perhaps it wasn't. But the change of allegiance, it was never that their allegiance was to the UK or to Britain, the British Empire. Their allegiance was to the colonies that at the time belonged to the British Empire. And when it became clear that the British Empire was abusing the colonies, whether you agree with it or not, but it became clear to them that that was the case, they decided to leave. You could also argue this from a Protestant perspective. Martin Luther being a revolutionary. Now, did he change his allegiance? He was excommunicated, if I remember the timeline on that correctly. He was rebellious first. Obviously, the 95 thesis that he wrote, but before really starting really being the flashpoint of the Reformation, he was excommunicated. Did he change his allegiance? No. Let's see what the ESV says. Fear the Lord and King, and do not join with those who do otherwise. It's a very interesting question. Good revening to you, sir. Cellulite podcast. Don't need any lights here. I got one bulb running. But you're welcome to hang out. Nernath, I know, is going to come. Right or wrong in the initial choice, the morality of the subsequent choices can be evaluated independently. Did they make the right choices afterwards? This is where I want to get. This is what I want to get into because of what you said. What are we studying tonight? If you are new to the show, what we're doing is going through the Bible in order. Okay, so just reading it right through it and reacting to what we're reading as we're reading through it. And we are in the middle of, maybe on the back end of Proverbs now, but well into it. And we are in Proverbs 24 tonight, the second half of it. We just started. And I knew it was a typo. All right. So, right or wrong initial choice, the morality of the subsequent choices can be evaluated independently. Did they make the right choices afterwards? This is great because, and it's interesting because, Solomon is who wrote Proverbs, is the product of the union of David and Bathsheba, which did not start off in a moral way, right? David saw Bathsheba, lusted after her. She was married to one of his troops, one of his mighty men, one of his generals. Gets her pregnant, and then has Uriah, her husband, killed. Let's not let's not miss words on that. Has him killed. Now,
the child from that pregnancy perished. But David does marry Bathsheba. Solomon was a child from both of them. And that's the thing. David gets caught. David thinks he got away with it, but he gets caught. And he's called out on it. And he is punished about it. And what is David's response to that? Is it indignant? Does he make excuses? Does he try to blame somebody else? No. David owns it, apologizes, does better. This is the good that we see in David. And it is an example that even David, a man after God's own heart, is fallible. And when he screws up, he doesn't do it often, but when he does screw up, it's in scripture, it's big time. Between that and the census, that's two big mistakes. That said, not until he was called out by Nathan. That's why I said he thought he got away with it. And then Nathan makes it clear that God knows. thought you got away with it, huh? But David's not a perfect guy. David has times where he folds under the weight of expectation for him. But he doesn't act like his predecessor. Instead, humility, remorse, rectify the problem. Right? What do you do after the thing you weren't supposed to do? So much is argued about the woman at the well. And we haven't gotten into that part of the Bible yet. But when we get there, you'll understand. So much is made about the woman at the well. About, oh, you don't judge people. You don't judge people. That's not what that was. Understand that for her, it was Jesus saying, you've done wrong. But there is forgiveness. Go forth and sin no more. Don't live in this sin. Don't give into it. Don't let it consume you and be a part of your life. Move past it. Improve. Now, for all the rest, Pharisees, the neighbors, the whatever, yeah. Are you going to take this? Are you going to take this woman's life when perhaps you have your own skeletons? Which of you is perfect? We ultimately are not the judge. Now we're given some interesting tidbits of information on how we may be judged by our actions. But that when it's all said and done, it's not your fellow man judging you. It is the Lord Almighty. We've gotten a little bit off topic here. The warning, the point of the proverb is to warn us of things to avoid. And I think the bothersome thing here of do not associate with those who are given to change of allegiance and are revolutionary, or who do not fear the Lord, do not honor him, has a lot to do with our faith. Those who would break the law, those who would insult the king, the Lord, the faith. Don't associate with them. Don't be part of them. Don't join in with their cause. You can draw a lot of parallels to this working with Satan and his rebellion against God. But here's the warning behind it. For their tragedy will rise suddenly, and who knows the punishment that both the Lord and the king will bring on the rebellious. Actions have consequences, good or bad. And while you may be out of the king's reach for punishment, you're not out of the Lord's reach. Right relationships theme continued. These also are sayings of the wise. To show partiality in judgment is not good. He who says to the wicked, "You are righteous," peoples will curse him, nations will denounce him. This one's pretty self-explanatory on here. To show partiality in judgment is not good. Yeah, you need to be objective. You need to be fair. That's the way it is. You need to adhere to the law, and that's your responsibility as a judge. Whether it's an official position as a judge or just you trying to mediate between two people in an informal manner, or just making decisions for yourself. You have to start off a little neutral. That's how you make good decisions. And if you try to, in this case, he says to the wicked, "You are righteous," people will curse him, nations will denounce him. Nobody wants to say, or nobody wants to see the bad guy be showered with accolades and held up in esteem. We see this with politicians all the time. So many people. Oh, he's so great. Ex-representative, ex-senator, ex-congressman, ex-president, ex-judge, whoever. So great. They're so awesome. And you're like, but are they really? Or were they just nice to you when they shook your hand and smiled at you? Do you not see that this person was profiting off of war, or profiting off of financial schemes? You can see they're getting kickback. They're more loyal to lobbyists than they are to the people that they represent. Are these the kind of people you want to say are righteous? It's easy to use politicians as the punching bag, especially in stuff like this. But that's because they're so. It's amazing. It's like they're so universally despised, except for when it's my congressman, when it's my representative, when it's my senator, my president. It's my guy. And that's not everybody, because look, I got folks that I vote for that I'm happy to vote for. Do I trust them? Nope. You shouldn't either. And you shouldn't just assume that they are a righteous person. And that includes guys that hold themselves up as a moral example. Mike Pence is an example. Do we know if he's truly righteous? No. He says some things that we like. He's not Pelosi or Biden over there making arguments for abortion. And child exploitation, mutilation, all that weird stuff. Grooming. Oh, yes, this is the backlash for the Cash for Kids judge pardon and clemency. That is an awful thing to see. But good example, though, Matt. I like that because people will curse him, nations will denounce him. Universally despicable move. I feel like it just seems like at some point the world might have been more honest or better discerning in the day, because it doesn't matter. There's always somebody to sweep for these people. There's always somebody go, no, you don't understand. This is why it's a good thing. No, you're being lied to. They're gaslighting you, bro. It's not an honest period of time for some reason. Hopefully that changes. I'd like to see that change. You want to see a return or a development of decency. And I don't want to be the guy that, bad times were good back in the day, because there were some things that sucked. But the one thing that you do miss is the fact that a handshake was supposed to be a handshake. And that the expectation of your word carried with it a lot of importance. Your reputation meant something. And we see that. I don't know if that's something that comes and goes all the time, throughout the generations, or if things just have changed so fast due to just a change in culture and technology and everything over the last 50, 60, 70 years. Good segue to 26. We'll see. Neo Rice, what's going on, buddy? Some might say you want to see America be great again. You might say that. But again, you don't see me on the Trump train talking about how God moved the bullet away from Trump's ear or any of that nonsense. Trump's in many ways a scoundrel. Has he improved on that somewhat? Maybe. I don't know what's in his heart. I don't know what he does behind closed doors or at any time that he's not doing his job. I don't know. He is still making fun of Canada, which I don't know whether that was I don't know whether that's a bad thing or a good thing. It is funny. The bullet move was obviously Shinzo Abe. Of course, the guy did not move the bullet. He turned Trump's head. Oh, you guys got to stop. He's not. I hate seeing the paintings, the AI art, or whoever's putting it together of Trump with Christ over top of him and everything. Just stop. It's and Protestants give Catholics such a hard time about idols. But there's a lot of evangelicals out there that will put Trump and Christ right next to each other in a picture and not find that just the least bit ironic. We got to be better than that, y'all. Trump's a politician that furthers some of the things that are good for Christian culture and some things that are bad. But we think that there's more good that he's going to do for Christianity than the alternative, which was Kamala. And we think that the things that are bad, we think that the alternative was going to push things that were much worse for Christianity. Celebrate a bad decision being made. Be wary of who you elected. All right, I'm going to read 26 and then I'm going to go tuck my son in real quick. And I probably should have read this one with 24 and 25, like Matt Felty said. He kisses the lips and wins the hearts of people who gives a right and straightforward answer. I think it's refreshing when we hear somebody who will just say what they're thinking and not talk around it, not just start filibustering or whatever, or speaking in circles or saying nothing while saying, like, just putting words together, but really saying nothing. Went to Trumpsville. But it is refreshing when you hear people say what's on their mind. And even more so when they say what's on their mind and it's good. And it's wholesome and it's right and it's something we've been missing. And you feel like they're going to follow through on it. Nernan said he makes me laugh, and I don't think World War III will start earlier compared to Kamala. Will World War III start over us invading Canada? Who knows? That demand, maybe God did do something. I'm not saying he didn't. Not in the way that you see depicted. When I first heard Trump was shot, I thought a civil war was started. Now it may still happen, but a lot of pressure is off. I think the way he won got a lot of people's attention. And I think a whole lot of people are just looking forward to some normalcy returning. Because this trans stuff is out of hand. You had the segue cue went to Trumpsville. Yeah, well. I've made my opinion on him. Well, guys, from a political standpoint, he's as good as I've seen in a long time. But from a personal standpoint, man needs Jesus, as we all do. And we should be praying for his soul as we pray for others. All right, I'm going to put the hold music on. And I will be back in a couple of minutes. That's a good idea, actually. Oh Lord, I trust in. Hold on. Hang on. I haven't even seen this one yet. Which is dangerous because I hope he didn't do anything weird. Holy night, stars are brightly shining. Is the
night of the dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining, till He appeared and so felt its worth. A thrill of hope, the weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees, oh hear the angel voices, oh night divine, oh night when Christ was born, oh night, oh holy night, oh night, oh night divine. Led by the light of faith serenely beaming, with glowing hearts by His cradle we stand. So led by light of a star sweetly gleaming, here came the wise men from Orient land. The King of Kings lay thus in lowly manger, in all our trials, born to be our friend. He knows our need, to our weakness is no stranger. Behold your King, before Him lowly bend. Behold your King, before Him lowly bend. Truly He taught us to love one another. His law is love, and His gospel is peace. Chains shall He break, for the slave is our brother, and in His name all oppression shall cease. Sweet hymns of joy, in grateful chorus raise we, and all within us praise His holy name. Christ is the Lord, oh praise His name forever. His power and glory evermore proclaim. His power and He knows our need, to our weaknesses no stranger. Behold your King, before Him lowly bend. Behold your King, before Him lowly bend. Truly He taught us to love one another. His law is love, praise be and all within us. Praise above beneath.
What is that? Good thing I got here when I did. Good thing I got there when I did. Get into some weird Hindu stuff or something. How was it? Was it any good? I'm going to listen to it. All right. Let's get the good word back up here. Finish it out. All right. Prepare your work outside and get it ready for yourself in the field. Afterwards, build your house and establish a home. I'm missing on this one for some reason. I mean, it seems like there's some discussion about, preparation, readiness, and everything, which is something we should always approach to our work. I guess it's get yourself set up and is this something about maybe establishing yourself as an individual, learning how to do things, listening to others before, and I guess maybe saving up money, saving up resources, building a trade before kind of settling down. That's what I'm kind of getting out of this. And I'm not sure if I'm articulating that very well either. But are y'all getting something similar? Like you've got things you've got to learn. You've got things you got to do. You don't just settle down and establish a house and you just know everything, or you're just wise and can, lead a household and run your house. Right? There are things that you have to learn. You learn it from your parents. You learn it from maybe like I said, a tradesman that you apprentice under. You learn this from your peers. You learn this from your elders. You learn this from your priests, your mentors. And you have to, there's a threshold of knowledge and wisdom you need to gain first before you can put down roots and have a family. Is that what y'all are getting out of this? Anyway, let me know. Do not be a witness against your neighbor without cause, and do not deceive with your lips. Speak neither lies nor half truths. Look, don't bear false witness. This is basically that through and through. You're not going to be a witness against your neighbor unless you have a reason to be, because they've done something wrong, because they've done something wrong. And you have to be honest about it. What do you know? Part of what I say is things y'all hear me. Due process is a biblical principle. And for that due process to be done in a righteous manner, that involves any witnesses being truthful about what they saw and didn't see, what they observed and what they didn't. Don't fill in. Don't build your account up. Don't try to fill in the blanks yourself. Don't try to spin things in a certain way. It's difficult to not do that as it is. If you're not trying, you have natural biases, probably, or feelings. Don't do that. Be objective. Be honest. Be as neutral as you can. Just the facts. And do not say, I will do to him as he has done to me. I'll pay the man back for his deed. And a lot of that is about, when does it end? It keeps going back and forth and back and forth. Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. And, we see there is compunction, or there's restitution available if a man has done another man wrong, whether he defrauded him or there was an accident. But at the same time, once that punishment's been doled out, it's done, right? It's done. You don't need to pay the man back. We're trying to live in a community as Christians, as people of God. And that doesn't mean, and that's not going to happen if we hold grudges. If we're always trying to get even. Going back a bit from what Nath talking about earlier, I think it means go out and learn before you try to settle down. You have to prepare for beforehand. Yeah, that's okay, which is probably better worded than what I said. More succinct, more to the point, I think. Go out and learn before you try to settle down. Thad said, it sounds like the song Keeper of the Castle. Can't you see while you're picking on society that the leaves on your family tree are calling you to come home? You're the keeper of the castle, so be a father to your children, the provider of all their daily needs, like a sovereign Lord protector, be their destiny's director, and they'll do well to follow where you lead. I mean, it sounds like Keeper of the Castle was inspired by this proverb. That's what it sounds like. Thanks, both of you. Oh, and Thad, I did listen to that I always say Big and Rich, but it's just Rich song you shared, and it's good. It's not my favorite or anything, but it's definitely the one that isn't now in my playlist that I can jam to when I'm going down the road. I like a little dark style, John Rich, yeah, a little dark style of country. There's still some of it out there. But you got to go on the YouTube. You got to find these, off the beaten path musicians. But yeah, it's sad you got to really search for it. All right. Heading towards the end. I went by the field of the lazy man and by the vineyard of the man lacking understanding and common sense. So basically the foolish man. So went by the field of the lazy dude and the vineyard of the fool. And behold, it was overgrown with thorns, and nettles were covering its surface, and its stone wall was broken down. When I saw, I considered it well. I looked and received instruction. Well, let's go, but we're going to get to the lesson in a minute. Lazy guy, foolish person, what do we see? We see that their land, which is supposed to grow things, bear fruit, bear produce, is in terrible condition. Thorns and nettles, stone walls broken down, nobody's taking care of anything around there. It's falling apart. It looks awful. So what's the lesson from here? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to rest and daydream. Then your poverty will come as a robber, and your want like an armed man. Sure. Oh, and Nernay's saying in Israel, they would have inherited the land from their father, and it would probably have been in good condition. Yeah, so they let it go to waste. So yeah, procrastinate. Which I'm as bad at that as anybody else, as the next guy. Go ahead and procrastinate. Go ahead and keep putting that off. Go ahead and ignore your responsibilities. It will ruin you. And like the saying, life comes at you hard. Life comes at you fast. And I like this. I like that, Matt. This is about observation as warning. Wisdom, not all wisdom is imparted to you by a wise man talking to you and you receiving instruction. Wisdom and knowledge is sometimes things you get just from observing other people's mistakes. Y'all have heard it from me, and y'all hear me from time to time. My dad always told me this. My dad always told me that, and I love my dad to death. Love him to death. He did a lot of great things for me growing up, and didn't appreciate it at the time. Some things I didn't appreciate until I became a parent myself. He wasn't perfect. He made mistakes. So for me, parenting my son, who is like me in so many ways, I took what he did that I thought was really good, and I tried to emulate it, I try to emulate it. And the things that I think that he did that were not helpful or didn't really go anywhere, kind of bounced off my hard head, avoided that, or tried to improve it. How could this have been done differently? And that's not observing a fool or a lazy person. That's not my dad. He's, like I said, full of wisdom and definitely not one to sit on his butt. The man is super active. And he's always got projects going on. That's not even observing him. But how much do we learn from people who are with hubris, people who do things without thinking? The internet is full of people like this, and they put it out there wanting to be famous about it, and they end up looking foolish. We can all see people that we have watched make terrible decisions and see what it has done to their personal lives and their professional lives, what it has done to their spiritual well-being. It's a tough thing to watch when you care about that person. Sometimes if you guys are empathetic enough, which we should be, it's a sad thing to see even people that you don't care for, that you don't get along with. It's a sad thing to see that. I hate watching people fall. And I'm not talking about a person who is full of themselves, right? People who think entitled, they're entitled. Because I think a lot of times when that rug gets pulled out from under them, that's a good learning lesson. It's a good time to, it's a good humbling moment. And that many of them can use that as a learning experience. No, what I hate seeing is good people kind of get complacent or get consumed with the wrong thing, and it just destroys them. I hate seeing that fall. I hate seeing the fall when the person just cannot stop getting in their own way. Cannot stop getting in their own way. I hate without seeing somebody become a slave to their sin and become so wrapped up in that identity that that's who they are. And they just expect us all to accept it. I hate seeing people walk away from faith. Walk away from faith because something didn't go their way. And you know they're better than that. Or somebody else let them down. And they let somebody else's failings be part of their own downfall. Anyway, welcome to Monday. All right. I'm going to try to stream tomorrow. I'm never going to tell anybody anymore. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be here because I'm beginning to think that this is going to be the same thing happens when I say that as what happens when I say, oh, this will be a short stream. And it's not. And it's never short when I say it's going to be a short stream. It always ends up getting drawn out. And that's always a good thing. But anyway, so if you want to pray, oh, you have a commitment. Also, your birthday tomorrow or today, which no matter what, happy birthday, Matthew. I'm glad you were born on any day, but I'm glad you were born and that you are impacting the world in a positive way and that you're part of this. You're part of this stream, right? Thank you, Matt, for living and existing tomorrow. Thank you. Wow. Ahead of time. Happy birthday to you. Serrano's not a short stream, not even 2 hour long stream. No, man. I got a job. I got a life. I got kids. I got too much. This is a bigger commitment than you would think. And that's just me. It's such a big commitment. That kind of thing. But you guys are worth it. And definitely the Lord is worth it. So, all right. So, to Matt Felty, Serranos, Nernaeth. Always good seeing you, by the way. I don't even know if I welcomed you to the show. Nernaeth. Always good seeing you. Bad the man. Hey, look, Thad. Eberflus might have been a bad coach. And Caleb Williams might not be the second coming of Andrew Luck. But at least they played. At least didn't walk off the field in the fourth quarter. Neo Rice, buddy, always good to see you. Always good to see you. Long time no see. Cellulite Cellulite podcast. Or Cellulite podcast. Cellulite podcast. A fat cast. Is this a fat cast? Welcome. Well, I don't know how long you've listened, but I'm pretty sure that's your first this is your first time commenting in the chat. Glad to have you in the chat, buddy. Veritax. And I think that's the crew tonight. Thank you guys. And thank you for the prayers. Everything is going well. Thank you guys for being part of the show. Thank you guys for your input. Thank you for your questions. Thank you for just popping by and saying hi. Letting your presence be known. It's much appreciated. To everybody who is not in the chat, who should be in the chat, seriously. I want you in the chat, but I understand you might not be able to. I understand you might not want to. It's whatever. It's whatever. But no matter what, thank you. Glad that you enjoy listening. Glad that you guys come back. And I know y'all do. Thank you. And to everybody who is catching me on replay, thank you for watching. Hope to catch you live sometime soon. But in the meantime, everybody have a good night. God bless.